With Divine's grace and Guru's grace only, I am continuing my spiritual journey, and we are all going to dip ourselves in the ocean of Srimad Bhagavatam. And today's pearl is very special because this recording is about very Bhagavatam only. Bhagavatam was told to whom, by whom. And before I proceed with the story, I have got a small request to make. Since there are many versions of this sacred text, there may be some different versions and details may differ. But I request everybody to understand the essence of the stories, and we will all try to implement the concepts which are highlighted in each and every episode. Now the story starts like this. There was a king by name Parikshit. Everyone is aware of Parikshit. He was the grandson of Arjuna. Once the king Parikshit went out hunting. While chasing a deer, he lost his way. He was very thirsty and he was hungry also. He found an ashram and he saw a rishi in meditation. He went and requested him to quench his thirst. But the rishi was in his meditation, hence he was not able to give the king what he wanted. The king spoke to him, but there was no response. The king's ego was hurt because he thought the rishi was indifferent and he lost his temper. When we are angry, we don't see the consequences of our action. This is exactly the lesson what you are going to get from Parikshit's life also. He got a terrible curse because of his action, which he is going to do now. He looked around and he found a dead snake. In this frame of mind, he lifted the dead snake and he placed it on the neck of the rishi. Rishi's name was Shamika. Some say Shamikar, in Tamil it is called Samika, Samikar, whatever it is. His name was Shamika. He had a son, and his son and his playmates came nearby, and when he saw his father, he was shocked. His son's name was Shringi. Shringi saw that his father in his neck had a dead snake. Without getting further details, this Shringi cursed the person who put the dead snake, saying that he will be bit by a serpent Takshaka from that day to next week. That is, a week from that day, he would be bitten by a serpent. This was the curse given by Shringi to that person who put the dead snake on Shamika. After some time, Rishi opened his eyes. From his samadhi, he came out and he saw this boy crying. Shringi was crying. Father saw this and he asked why he was crying. He realized that there was a dead snake on him and he pushed it aside, and he heard the whole story from his son. He asked his son why he did like this. He said the king was hungry and thirsty, and it is but natural for anybody to get angry when they don't get at the time when they are desperate about something. Shringi, why did you not think before you gave this curse? Now he felt that is his duty to inform the king what was in store for him. Immediately he sent a disciple, and the king was told that from that day, within the next week, he would be bitten by a snake. How the king responded? This is a second valid point which we will be seeing in this episode. Anybody else in his position would be so desperate and they would be depressed because somebody should not be told actually the day when he was going to die. He would have already died. when he came to know the exact date. But Parikshit was different. He said, I would do whatever has to be done in this 7 days. So he gave the kingdom to his son, Janamejaya, and he walked to the river Ganga and he decided to fast until death. He was sitting at the banks of river Ganga. He lost interest in the things of the world and he felt that the punishment was right only. So that was his, I should say he was very magnanimous in his thinking. Instead of blaming the king or instead of blaming the situation, instead of cursing everything, he took it in his stride and he started fasting. Then at that time, many great rishis came to his side. They came near Ganga and Parikshit was very much thrilled beyond words. Parikshit asked them what I should do. Some spoke of yagas, some spoke of yoga, some others spoke of dhanam. Parikshit said, what is there for me to give further? I have given up everything. And I am hardly left with a few days. All this yagam, yajnam, yoga, all those things are very far-fetched and it is not possible for me to do. There was so much of confusion. At that time, Sukha, son of Vyasa, he came by. He came near the river and Parikshit was protected by Lord when he was in his mother's womb. Most of us are aware of the stories in Mahabharata, so I am not going into the details. Parikshit felt that grace of God was on him because he got the guidance at the correct time. So once again he thought of the mercy of the Lord. Sukha came nearby and he blessed him. He told him, I have come to make you hear Srimad Bhagavatam. I learnt from my father, sage Vyasa. So the 7 days are going to be glorious days in your life. If you are sincere, even one muhurta is enough, Sukha says. There is a story which narrates this particular time about which he is talking. Muhurta is 48 minutes. There was a story of a king, Katwanga. He came to know, I think he took some prediction, and he came to know that he was having only 48 minutes to live. He renounced his kingdom. Next 24 minutes, he focused on the feet of Lord and he was blessed and his story ended in a very positive note. In the same way, Sukha says, when Katwanga could attain what he wanted, it is possible for you to also get liberated. So, he gave him some preparatory steps. He said, cut all your ties which is binding you. Meditate upon the Lord. Visualize the form of Lord. He goes on telling Parikshit, man's ears are useless if he does not hear the stories of Lord. Man's tongue is useless if it is not used to sing glories of Lord. It is like frog's tongue which produces sound when it rains. Does it make any sense? In the same way, whoever does not sing the glory of the Lord, he will be like a frog's tongue only. His tongue will be like frog's tongue only. And what about the head? Head should bend at the feet of Lord Narayana. Hands should be used only for worship. Otherwise, it is useless. What about feet? Feet should be used only to travel to holy spots. This is how one should lead their lives. And he starts telling Parikshit Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is such a wonderful opportunity for Parikshit to hear it from Sukha. He was called Sukha Brahmam. He attained the status of Brahma Jnani, what we say, even at the time of his birth. From that kind of a person, of that kind of a caliber, Parishit was able to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is how the story ended here. And Parishit hears Bhagavatam from Sukar. I will once again meet you all with a few more episodes from Bhagavatam. Thank you for your patient hearing.